An investigation by the Public Protector's Office has found former Johannesburg Mayor Herman Mashaba guilty of maladministration during his tenure. Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane found Mashaba made unlawful appointments when he assigned David Tembe as chief of the Metro Police Department and also Moses Metileni as the executive head of housing in Johannesburg. Now, the former mayor has since said that he's disappointed by the findings and will challenge the report in the High Court, as he has nothing to fear. Herman Mashaba, the former Johannesburg mayor, joins us now to talk about this report. Mr. Mashaba, welcome to Morning Live and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sakina. Good morning to the listeners. I really appreciate this opportunity to respond.
Indeed, as you would have heard in that conversation that Leanne had a short while ago with Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, our Public Protector, you have indicated that you are going to challenge the Public Protector's report in the High Court. So can we please elaborate on that?
Well, I think, Sakina, it's actually quite worrying. Just listen to the Public Protector being interviewed by Leanne, and I find it difficult to understand why the Public Protector would lie to South Africans about the involvement of my wife's business in this matter, when she's got more than enough evidence under oath of my wife's harassment over the years of her involvement in this matter, that the Public Protector and her office knows very well, because they've got the documents under oath about my wife's innocence in this matter. When I wanted to install security and the cleaners, the process and the project was sabotaged for over 9 months. In a official mayoral meeting, then they said to the city manager, how do we fast track this process? Legal the team in the office, we were over 100 in the office in that meeting, where I was advised, because I said, guys, I know so many good financial people who can help us with this exercise within a matter of hours. It has taken you 9 months. We've got our people who are exploited by these so-called tenderpreneurs and labor brokers. And they said, no, as long as you get someone, as long as the person doesn't do business with the city, does not have any relationship whatsoever with the city, it's not going to be paid for the service. Unfortunately, it's good public service, and it's part of our submissions to the Public Protector. And obviously, I know the Actor Deshmukh, who I've worked with over many years, approached him on his assistance, introduced him to the team to assist them to really do that financial modeling, and from there left it to them. And we made it clear from the beginning, this matter, Actor did it in his personal capacity. Actor never got paid. It is within the law that anyone can get services government, as long as the person doesn't do business, does not have any personal interest. It's just really giving you advice. But in terms of the actual process of securing the services, it's got absolutely nothing to do with that person. And that is actually the case. How the Public Protector would keep on really bringing my wife into this is very unfortunate. And I think it's actually, as far as I'm concerned, is lying to the South African public. But fortunately enough, this matter is going into an open court, and South Africans will have an opportunity to see not one, not two, the cases of statements under oath of my wife's non-involvement in this matter. I don't know why she's decided to ignore this.
So the Public Protector charges, and it is in that report, that this free advice that was solicited was done so unlawfully and irregularly. So let's just talk about that. In terms of that advice that was sought being free, what does that mean? You know, on face value, it means nothing was paid. But was there any contractual engagements with these companies post any of these agreements?
Absolutely no contractual. I think AFTA must have had 1 or 2 meetings to show them how to work out. Because Sakina, I inherited a city where the city was paying 14,000 rands per security guard, but the poor person providing the service was getting 3,500 rands a month, with no appointment letter, with no salary slip, with no benefits whatsoever, being paid on the day when the stand-upreneurs wanted to pay them. They never were sure how long they would be paid. People working 10 to 15 years for this unscrupulous tenderpreneurs. And for 9 months, the officials of the city kept on saying this cannot be done. And this matter was raised in an official meeting. It is there with the city's legal department actually confirming what advice was discussed. It is there in the minutes. And AFTA never got paid a cent. There was no procurement of anything. In fact, Sakina, to tell you, my senior legal counsel in our last submission to the city, to the public protector, makes this very clear, and this document will become public the knowledge when we go to court. To say, you know what, the Mr. Public Protector, don't you think these two public reps, the mayor as executive mayor and this resident, these are people that you need to actually celebrate for them actually being involved in assisting our country when we've got very limited resources. We've got the exploitation of 8,000 people, where the mayor is working towards making sure that we can take them out of poverty and exploitation. I said, these are the people you've got to celebrate. So we are surprised that she's really taken this view. But what is actually disappointing is the involvement of my wife into this. I don't understand what has my wife got to do with this matter. Because AFTA did this in his personal capacity. It is there under oath and work with people who will never lie under oath.
So, in listening to the public protector speaking to Leanne earlier, I understood her to say that she actually thought the insourcing of those security guards, for example, was a good thing. But she alleges that you actually unlawfully entered into the procurement space when all of this was being done. She says there's evidence that you were actively involved in prioritizing of these two companies, and they were unfairly favored.
I think it's unfortunate to really have a Chapter 9 institution lying to South Africans, forgetting that we've provided her with evidence under oath. Let's wait until obviously this documents and this information provided to her is brought before the courts and really hear what she says, because there was no procurement whatsoever. There's legal opinion from outside and including the city's legal department about this, because there was no procurement. And it's something that any self-respecting nation where government can secure services, or where someone has got absolutely no interest whatsoever in the matter, is happy to give you that information and move on. It's got nothing to do with the procurement. It is just to tell you guys, it is possible, it is done. When you've got 14,000 rands, if you want to pay your people, this is how you can run this model so that you can give dignity to the people, and you move aside. Nothing to has never been involved in any of the actual procurement and the finalization of this matter. So I don't know where the public protector honestly gets all this information, but we have it in writing under oath. So, and she's got this information in her office.
Everything, of course, has to be done within the prescripts of the Municipal Finance Management Act. And did you at any point, Mr. Mashaba, instruct the city to actually use certain service providers? Did you at any point dictate to officials within the city on which companies to be approached for any services to be rendered to the city of Johannesburg?
I think Sakina and people of South Africa, on 2 occasions, these are the cases that the public protector is using. Obviously, I've heard of others where I don't even know those companies to start off with. Firstly, the Mkhwebane Foundation. We are on our first strategic session with the city officials. As you are aware, when I took over, the senior management of the city of Johannesburg was run by ANC cadres. But I was operating with them in total transparency and fairness. And when the Department of Social Development were presenting, I shared with them my past experience of a company, an organization, an NGO that services to date over 80,000 South Africans, that saved them from drug abuse, early childhood, and so forth. I shared my experience with this organization, the support that the international community is giving, including our national government Department of Arts and Culture, and then said, guys, please, it's your prerogative. Look at this. I gave them the website of this company. I said, go and do your own investigation in this matter. I introduced the MMC, the Palazzi, to say, MMC, these are the organization, but MMC also not being the direct person, then referred the matter to the officials to do their own investigation. 6 months later, they brought a report in council after engaging that they were satisfied that this organization is excellent and recommended. In fact, not even coming from the normal budget, coming from the grant that the executive mayor has got a prerogative on, suggesting that we use those funds to fund the Mkhwebane Foundation. This matter started in an official meeting. All the documents are there in terms of the report brought by the officials, approved by a mayoral the committee. It's in the budget. That's the first thing. Why anyone would really say that I intervened in the process, it is beyond me. Secondly, the question of security and cleaning services. Sekinda, I made a statement to my first address of the city residents in May of 2017. During my State of the City address, I made a statement to the effect to the city manager and the officials. I said, I need the security officials insourced by 1st of December. So basically, I gave them 7 months to run the whole process, and I stayed out of it. Every monthly mayoral committee meeting, they will come out with all sorts of excuses why this cannot be done. By March of 2018, that's when I got cross. In the open mayoral committee, I said, guys, by trying to sabotage this exercise, it is totally unacceptable. And I said, the CM, how do we fast track this? Because you can see these officials are fast tracking this. They are protecting this highness to exploit our people. This cannot go on any longer. That's when the issue of getting an outside person who can assist them was involved. The only thing, visa from legal and so forth, was that if you get someone, it must be someone who does not do business with the city and so forth, and just come and give advice, not to go into the procurement. And I'm so pleased today that almost 8,000 of our security and cleaners, their salaries, some of them have more than doubled, some of them 50%. They've got appointment letters, they've got dignity in the sense that they get pay slips, they've got benefits. So if the public protector honestly blames me for this, I'm really proud. I will die a proud person, and that as much as this job was a tough job, these are some of the things that actually gives me the personal satisfaction and reward.
I think, Mr. Mashaba, the issue there, as she had indicated, may have been the following of rules and procedures, because listening to your explanation now, and it goes back to the question that I asked you about whether you did, in fact, recommend any service providers to the city, and it sounds as though you did. You did say, these are people that I have worked with in the past, and, maybe they should be looked at.
Okay, let me give you, I can give you thousands of recommendations that are made openly. Let's say, Sakinda, when I took over the city of Johannesburg, hardly 3 months into office. In fact, the second week, I took all the officials out on a strat session. You remember I came out with a 10-point plan. In that 10-point plan, the budget was already approved. But I would, discussed with the officials, including the city manager at the time, Trevor Fowler. I said, guys, I need to run a private project in one of the informal settlements where people were dying. I said, and then they said, well, obviously we don't have the budget for. But I said, guys, I saw a line item on the budget for traveling of the mayor. I have no intention whatsoever to travel. Can't we use that money? Can you, as a CM and the officials, go and look at how we can divert this money? And then when it comes to the adjustment budget in February, we will then accordingly account for it. Is this not, is it interference? When I took over the city of Johannesburg, we had the city of Johannesburg Golf. When the contract was expiring with the service provider, I said, I'm prepared to extend this contract on condition that you can go out and raise the funding to upgrade Soweto Country Club. I can give you thousands of cases, but at the end of the day, I'm giving recommendation, but it's not up to me. It's the officials, the municipal systems, and all the regulations are clear that whatever I recommend, it doesn't mean that people must do it. They must go and make sure that whatever they do, they follow the law. And I tell you, in the case of the Philbin Foundation, they follow the law up to the latter, which there is even legal opinion that no laws were violated. And the public protector has got that information from legal opinion that all processes were followed outside the mayor. The mayor, the only thing I recommended was that can we look at this? And this is my responsibility. This is a responsibility of public servants to make sure that when we spend public monies, we spend it to benefit society. What did I have to really benefit out of the insourcing of security officers? I benefited, and I'm proud of it, that I've got 8,000 people with dignity today.
It is now construed as you interfering in the procedures of the procurement processes within the city, Mr. Mashaba. With the benefit of hindsight, do you think it was correct for you to make the recommendations, though?
I will do it 10 times more in the future. I will do it because, fortunate enough, Sakinda, there is legal papers to support that. I've never broken any law. So I don't know where the public protector gets this. There is sufficient evidence to that fact. So, Sakinda, I will do it 10 times more in the future. Because I'm acting in the interest of society. I had no personal benefit out of this. Unlike all these public officials who have looted our country over the years for their own personal interest. Obviously, if I do something like this and it benefits our most vulnerable, Sakinda, I'll do it 100 times, not even 10 times more.
Former Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Herman Mashaba, thanks for your time talking to us about the Public Protector's report, which found him guilty of maladministration during his tenure as Mayor of Johannesburg.